Heroes, gather tribute and earn my favor.
What the fuck was that?
Oh, look at that logo. That's really nice. Look at that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just
Sweet.
need to fix this little camera issue, but yeah.
It's larger than ours.
It should be larger than ours, Pat. It should be
Yeah.
larger. All right. So welcome. This is your host, Fringe Average, calling in again from Portland, Oregon. So for those of you listening for the first time, we are the only Heroes of the Storm explicit podcast where all the different co-hosts represent different play levels, all the way from a silver type player all the way to a pro player. So let's go ahead and introduce our co-host. We'll go. This is gonna be We'll be a little bit quicker this time around, but we'll go to Old Backpack, our platinum level player in Abu Dhabi.
Hey.
Okay. We'll go to Scott, our residential diamond level player in San Francisco.
What up?
We'll introduce our silver type player, that is Tower Baron in San Diego, California.
Hey there, Fringe. It's good to be here in the Nexus.
And we'll introduce Bacon, our master level player.
Hello.
Or is it Grandmaster? It was a Grandmaster, right?
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
master right now, so whatever.
But you were Grandmaster, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's Grandmaster level player. And also, we are joined by our first ever pro player, and that is BBJ from HeroesHearth, who's calling in from his palatial estate in Chicago, Illinois.
The first. I didn't know I was the first. That's a lot of pressure. I gotta set the bar high.
Just pretend that we're even in death, and you'll be just fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. You set the
Be
bar.
gentle with us. It's our first.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, I have to recover from that.
Just go slow.
So, I'm lost for words now. All right. So, for those of you listening, we stream on Twitch every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you listen to us on Stitcher or iTunes, please rate and review us and/or subscribe. Also, if you have friends who play the game, please spread the word about the podcast. If you would like to talk with us or just chat with us, we are in the channel Win Time in HOTS. One word, Win Time. Also, we have a Discord channel as well. If you have any questions or comments for the show, please either email us at podcast@gankbushsquad.com. Also, you can there's a new comment thread thing where you can ask questions as well, I think, whatever that's called. We are also on Patreon. If you go to gankbushsquad.com, you can find links to all the aforementioned content places, including our YouTube, which blew up today because Bacon released a video about the Mythbusters for Heroes. Right, Bacon?
Yeah, myths in the Nexus. So taking, cool little ideas and things you can test in the game and put it in a nice little package about 5 minutes long. And I guess one myth that we can talk about real quick before moving on to BBJ, you can cancel Karazim's Divine Palm if you have the killing blow with Anna's grenade. So
there you go.
FYI.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you watch the video, it's actually number 3 or 4 on Reddit right now at the
Did
HOTS
you just
page.
see BBJ? BBJ had I just learned something phase. So professionals, they don't know everything, guys. But I don't know why I did that.
It makes sense.
So
Yeah, you
I
showed
feel
him.
threatened
Good
because
job.
I used to be the best player on the show, but I'm clearly not anymore. So,
well, now you're overcompensating. Now you're going to buy like a big Ford truck,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
A 350.
I have credit. Yep.
Yeah. So, but thank you again for BBJ for joining us this week and lowering your standards. So again, congratulations for becoming a pro player and winning against Even in Death on Sunday.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
Congrats.
It's been pretty. I don't know. Like for the last game, like a bunch of people on my team were like yelling and screaming, real pumped up, and it just hadn't really hit me yet. I don't think. So I don't even know if it's hit me yet, even still.
Cool. Like, I wondered. I was actually a little nervous because since you're a pro player in NA now, I figured that you would, agree to come on and cancel like a minute before the show, and I show up like a scrim.
Jesus.
He's just gone.
Wait, he's done that. Wait, look at his face. He's done that before.
Yet.
He's done that.
We still have our amateur standards. No, we still have our amateur. We show up on time.
There you got that amateur standard, but that pro paycheck, huh?
Yeah. That's best of both worlds.
So my first question is, how did you end up joining Heroes Hearth?
Like the team or the sponsorship?
Both.
Well, so it first started out like when all the pro players have been dropped from HGC teams, and there was only like superstar spots left open. I think they had like 2 spots. So it was like me, Urho, Arthalon, Insam, Ellie, and then Yuge was also trying out for support. And then that was like kind of the plan to be the team a bit. And then Urho got picked up by Superstars. So I was like, all right, I'll just make a different team because I think I can do it better than Urho was doing it, kind of. So I took Arth, and then I messaged Crone and Mac a bunch. And then Ishbu was my tank on LFM. And I don't know, NA doesn't really have many tanks. So I just messaged him up. And we tried out like some other tanks, some other supports and stuff. But then we decided on this core 5.
What's the process for that? Are you like just like playing the game and making sure that they can play really well? Then are you like hanging out at a bar to see that you guys get along well?
I mean, it's kind of you're making sure nobody's flaming each other mid game. I mean, you can tell someone like they're wrong, but if you do it during the game instead of after the game, it's kind of a bad sign. And then I don't know, you're just making sure nobody's. I don't know. You're kind of making sure everyone's as good as you expect them to be. Like nobody's like, I expected this guy to be better. That's never
okay.
Tower Baron's laughing because that
comment about criticism after the game needs to be broadcasted a little bit more among our inner circle here.
You should have slid there, Dan. Okay, that play was 10 minutes ago, but you should have slid there. Why didn't you slide there?
So
still bringing up last week's games. Come on.
Yep.
So this is a very, very dumb question, and I plead ignorance on this. And this is completely off topic, but like when I hear the word scrim, what exactly is a scrim?
I mean, it's basically just the one team versus another team. You just go into a custom lobby, and then you pick. I mean, you play the 9 HGC maps, and then generally each team has their like permaban maps. There's really like 7 maps you're playing out of. Mm-hmm. You just play. Generally, in a 3-hour scrim block, you get like 6 of them if you're quick with getting the lobbies up and stuff.
And are you just doing like a draft, or are you just doing all random, or how does that work?
I mean, you just draft. It's just like, I mean, it's basically the same as like an HGC game that's just not being streamed, kind of.
Oh, okay.
But then teams are trying out stuff, So some teams will do like a lot better in scrims too, because either there's less pressure on them, or I don't know, they're just more comfortable.
So how did you end up in Heroes of the Storm in general? Like, were you playing like a different MOBA before, or?
Yeah, I was playing League. I was trying to like go pro in League, kind of. I was like challenger support in there. And then whenever I would get frustrated or bored with League, like one of my friends had shown me Heroes. So I'd play Heroes back in beta. And then I kind of stopped playing any MOBAs for like a year when I realized like, oh man, I'm not good enough at League. And then I think almost a year ago, I think it was in like September, I started playing HOTS again. Because I think it was because I saw, what was it? It's not SEL, PPL. I saw PPL and I was like, oh man, I want to be in that. I want to play with like the pro players and be in comms with them because that seems cool. And then, so I grinded like the ladder, got in PPL, played one game of PPL, and then PPL died forever. That was sad. But then, yeah, I kind of just bounced around team to team. Till now, I guess.
So were you always like, did you always grab? I mean, obviously you played, support in League of Legends. Was that like the role that fit you the best, that excited you the most?
I even like when I first started picking HOTS up again, I wouldn't even play support much. Like I'd play like Greymane, I don't know, fun heroes that I thought were fun. And then Ariel came out, and I just spammed Ariel because I found her super fun.
Oh.
And I just spammed her until I was like top 4 on the ladder, I think.
Okay. And yeah, go for it, Bacon.
Do you still play Ariel now in General Hero League after the level 7 change?
I mean, sometimes just to get practice on her. I don't know. My Ariel got a lot worse since I stopped being a one trick. Like my Ariel is not even top 5 in my better sports, probably.
Okay.
Actually, pretty bad at her now, which is sad because that was like my favorite hero for a while.
But she's also kind of out of the meta, right? I'm not sure.
I mean, yeah,
she's
still competing. She's played in competitive like a bit still, just double support. But yeah, solo support, she's pretty rough to play.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess how's like I'm just curious about like overall like the team dynamic. Is there like one person who's in charge of the team that says we're screaming, Thursdays with Team X, and then on Team Y we're screaming on Friday? Is there like one person who's in charge of all that?
It's kind of weird because like Ishbu's our shot caller in game, so he leads like a lot of the in-game decision making and stuff like that. But Mac's also like a pretty vocal guy, so like he's kind of leads the discussions like after like the post game discussion kind of stuff, and does like say stuff in game. But then I kind of do a lot of the outside of the game, like just the team stuff. Like we have a manager who books all our scrims and stuff, but I do a lot of like I did all like the open stuff, dealing with the admins there and stuff. And then we have a coach who's kind of has his hand in all of them, kind of.
Now, am I wrong? Is that a lot of teams in NA don't have coaches? So isn't that makes your team kind of rare that you have a coach?
Yeah, even a lot of the pro teams. I mean, I don't think many amateur teams do. I don't think Imported had a coach or Donkeys. Could be wrong. No, I don't think they did. And I think there's only like 3 or 4 HGC teams that I know who their coach is.
You mean like in NA? Or
yeah, in NA.
Okay.
In NA.
So
I'm pretty sure EU's has a lot of coaches.
Yeah, so is that what was the driving force to getting a coach?
That was actually a weird situation because we were getting talks with this one sponsor, and they had this dude who was kind of talking between. He was like, what's the word? He was like the middleman kind of for us and the owner, and he said like they were like a league org, and he was like in league the coach. Every team has a coach, and the coach does all their drafting for everything. So he's like, that's how we're gonna set this up. And then he helped us. Like we did coaching tryouts. We ended up choosing Dylan because we liked him, and then that org, like we kind of talks fell through with that org. It's like we never even did anything with that, but I mean they helped us find a coach that we liked. So it's kind of.
So what is this pool of coaches? You having tryouts for HOTS coaches?
I mean there weren't many. There weren't many, but there's a few.
So what happens during the tryout? Are they like holding a clipboard and like throwing cups on the ground and stuff like that, or
there's a whiteboard, zeros and X's?
Get the Gatorade after your win and just dump it on them or something.
I mean, most of it was like we were trying to get them to draft us, like go through the whole draft, like every ban, every pick, and then out of game stuff. I don't know, just how they would help us, I guess, kind of. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really know what we were looking for either. But I mean, kind of.
Now, how much does your coach focus on you versus focusing on the teams you're going to play?
Most of the time in open season, we was just focused on us because we knew that as long as we were playing well, we were going to beat every open team. But I mean, once it came to Crucible, and then even Death was kind of hard to scout because they'd known they were going to be in Crucible for a while. It's like they didn't have to. I mean, I know one HCC game they picked an all orc draft. So they didn't have to show anything for a while, so we didn't really know. And they were role swapping. We didn't know who was playing what. But he did a bunch of scouting for Crucible, for sure.
So do you think was part of the reason of getting a coach was to maybe give you a competitive advantage against the other teams in NA? Or is it just purely coincidental that you got a coach?
No, I mean, I think the reason to get a coach was he helps us kind of just only focus on being better players. Mm-hmm. Like he handles all the draft. We don't have to follow the meta as much because he's like keeping track of all the changes and stuff like that, what different regions are doing. So our job is just to play Hero League and be good players.
The general Heroes community kind of believes that the coach should kind of be everyone in like every job in one in terms of like taking care of the players, researching drafts, suggesting drafts, analyzing play. But how much does your coach or other coaches have a role in terms of like mitigating drama between players? And are they even effective at it?
I mean, from what I've heard, I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard a lot of the other coaches in HGC teams, they don't even do much for like drafting or in-game like analysis, kind of. They're just kind of there to babysit a lot of. But I mean,
is that babysit?
That's not our
right
coach
word?
at all. Huh? Babysit, I think, is the right word.
Okay.
It's what he said.
How many babies are there?
There's a lot of egos, I bet.
5
Yeah,
babies.
I mean, probably depends on the team.
Yeah, 5 per team.
It's like the Rugrats.
Yeah.
Earlier, you said that you were trying out other supports, like for HeroesHearth. Would that mean you would played a different role, or were you?
No, I would have not been on the team. Like, I'm completely open to it. I mean, we were just trying to make the best possible open team. And if that doesn't involve me, it doesn't involve me. But luckily enough for me, it did.
So I had a question about like, so you said earlier that you have one shot caller during when you're playing. I've read or heard that some teams will have 2 shot callers. Like one's like a macro one, one's a micro one. So how does that come about? Is like, do you guys have a conversation, or you guys just play games together and it just happens naturally, or?
When we were starting out, we were trying to figure out, because I mean, we pretty much agreed that having one like distinctive shot caller of like, if this person says it, we all do it, was like the best way to go about it. And we just tried different people being it, and Ishbu was the best at kind of being assertive and being louder and talking the most. So we just went with him.
Okay. And in the last, the first season's been kind of rough for NA, and there's been a lot of pitfalls with some other NA teams. Do you guys actually have a conversation as a team, as to try to avoid those pitfalls that other teams may have had this past year?
What kind of pitfalls? You mean like slacking or?
Well, I'm not gonna go into a rant about it, but just it's very
about
obvious.
to go in a rant.
No. It's just very obvious that the level of play is not where it should be, and it's probably due to many factors, like not scrimming or slacking and not taking because this is actually a job now, right, for you guys, and it's very obvious to me that certain teams, well, the vast majority of teams are not taking this seriously. And I was wondering, did you guys have a talk saying, hey, we're going to be different. We're going to actually do what most teams are not doing and be more like, Korea or China or Europe?
Well, at first, I mean, it was pretty easy to be motivated because we wanted to win every open, kind of. And it was like, we got to make HGC. But then I think at one point where we were just kind of winning every open without trying too hard, there was definitely some we could not scrim at all and still beat these guys. But then once it got close to Crucible and stuff, we turned up the scrim schedule a bunch, and I think we'll be pretty motivated once next season starts to make lands and stuff. I think we all want to.
Okay. Because I've never been in a band before, but having done this podcast for a year and almost 2 years now, I feel like the dynamic that we have as a podcast is kind of the same as any team, where you need to have discussions about what our goals are and where we're going, and I'm just wondering if that's something that takes place on your team.
Yeah, I mean, we had to talk. Making HGC wasn't even that was just the first step for us. I mean, the goal of this team wasn't to make HGC; it was kind of to do well in HGC.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a quick question.
Yeah.
Speaking about other teams, not practicing. I'm not going to say the team's name, but I heard a team that names with Raga Epu didn't practice until they lost their sponsor.
Oh, wow. Okay. Make it obvious.
I don't know. I heard. I mean, I know at one point they were.
It's pretty common knowledge in the community now that the rumor is that LagF wasn't practicing at all until they lost their sponsor, and then they started screaming again or something. That's the rumor going on.
I think it started phase 2. I know they were scrimming a bunch, and then they said that they actually felt like scrimming more was hurting their team, I guess. So they cut down from 6 hours to 3 hours a day, and they started doing more reviews and stuff. I think that's what they said in one of the interviews.
So actually, that's another question. So now that you're actually in the HUC, is it were you actually even able to scrim against Gale Force or Roll 20 or Temple Storm?
Yeah, we scrimmed them.
Okay.
I think Tempo is probably the scrim. Tempo and Freedom were the teams we scrimmed like the least, probably, are the HGC
Okay.
ones.
Well, I'm not surprised, but okay.
We scrimmed like Roll 20 and GFE and like pretty much all the rest.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. Actually, I thought maybe like they would, I don't know. I thought maybe they would be like, oh, you're not an HCC tier client, tier team yet. We won't waste our time with you. But that's really cool, though. I didn't know that. So, quick. Obviously, you've played with Bacon before, and I'm pretty sure if you played with Bacon, Bacon's been the support, right? So, like, obviously, Bacon's a Grandmaster level player, right? So, like,
Uh-oh.
No, I'm just curious, like, because a lot of our fans have played with Bacon, and I'm just wondering, like, where, like, if Bacon wanted to like switch roles with you, if Bacon was like on your team, in January when he plays, Tempo Storm, how would Bacon fare as playing, the Rhaegar prop? And I'm just curious. No, I'm not trying to mean him. I'm just trying to get like I wanted to because obviously I'll never play with you. I'll never even come close to that.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, of like
No,
Exactly right.
not with any attitude. Have you seen him play? No, you haven't.
I'm just trying to get an idea of like because like when I watch the games play, it looks like it's really, really fast, right? And when I've played in higher, like diamond level games, it's really, really fast. But I figure like diamond level is like nothing for you. But like could Bacon hold his own? I guess, or is he, or no, or?
I mean, in the meta right now, it's actually not too hard on supports a lot of the time because, I mean, you generally have a second support. So, I mean, you really just have to do, like, one thing, and you just have to focus, like, you're either I'm sustaining my whole team this whole game, or I'm stopping someone from getting one shot this whole game. Okay. That's kind of just your role.
Okay. But, all right, so what are your thoughts on double support? Because the double support meta that's been around for at least 3 months now.
It's been around for a while.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I think there's ways to beat it. I mean, against Even Death, we won with single support games. At least one of the games that I remember.
The single.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the easiest by far. Like you put the burden of execution on the other team, basically. You say, like, if we stand around all game and we make equal level plays, we'll just win. Because we have the easier to run comp.
Do you like the because I think it was like a year ago the community was like we need to make supports more playmaking, make them more playmakers, right? And like reduce. So what Blizzard did was they gave them more playmaking talents, but they also nerfed their healing potential. And do you like what they've done with that, with doing that particular, with making them more playmakers and making them support less or heal less?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I come from League, so like support in League. I mean, you're basically like a tank with CC most of the time. So I mean, I don't care about healing people. I just want to make sick plays.
Yeah. Gust into this divine storm.
Yeah.
It's a playmaker.
So another thing is that it seems as though that Blizzard is really, really waffling on keeping Cleanse, and I feel as though Cleanse is like probably the best playmaking tool every support player has. What are your thoughts on? Because it seems as though that a year from now, when we're doing episode 200, that Cleanse won't be in the game anymore.
Yeah, I liked what Blizzard did with like the Uther update. Like they gave him like here's an anti-CC talent. Obviously, it's overtuned when it came out, but then they're like, here's also a cleanse that's more like Uther specific. Like it's a longer cooldown, but you auto attack enough, and it's a shorter cooldown. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like they could do that for most supports, and it'd be fine. Like, I don't know. I didn't like it when they took away Malph's cleanse, but I think he definitely needed something taken away. Yeah. But I mean, I like cleanse's ability a lot. I feel like it's one of the more rewarding, So if you use it well, it's really rewarding. And if you use it poorly, I mean, it's basically like you missed a talent tier.
So you have two choices. One is every support has cleanse, or the other is no one. What's your choice?
Give them all cleanse for sure.
All right.
Every support.
Okay.
Yeah, because I always I always kind of find that to be kind of hypocritical because Blizzard wants to make supports more of a playmaker, but I feel as though that cleanse is probably like the most. I mean, like obviously in general, I mean, cleanse is like one of the most important, impactful things you can do as a support, and they want to. It seems as though that they want to remove it from the game, which I find kind of interesting.
Yeah, I feel
it's
like
also the highest it's also the highest skill tap a tier for a support to have, right? So they want to lower the skill bar, remove cleanse, and that burden of execution goes away for the supports.
But all the replacement talents that they put in, it kind of like narrows the role that support can play. So I feel like the draft becomes more important, in my opinion.
I mean, like, do you draft cleanse?
It's easier to like just ban out supports now. There are a lot of support choke drafts that I've noticed.
I feel like the big thing about Heroes was like having talent tiers and being able to like adapt though. And I feel like if, now it's like if they have like CC chains, you have to pick like a Rhaegar and Uther, somebody that can cleanse or stop the damage. And if you don't, you just will lose the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now they gave Morales the Uther ability where if you hit someone with the safeguard when they're stunned, you get the armor. So that's kind of their workaround, I guess, to avoid cleanse. It would give you high armor instead.
They've given like a bunch of the support changes. It seems like they just give them a talent tier where it's like, this is your anti-CC talent tier. You either have like a slower root cleanse, something to do with stuns, or just like a buff for one of your other abilities if the other team has no CCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what they did for Anna too on her level 13. You can either remove stuns, roots, or movement speed or something.
Slows.
It's not like yeah.
So actually, speaking of Anna, so when a new character comes out, is there like a discussion of like who has to learn Anna, or is it more like everyone just learns her? And then, like...
Everybody tries to take the new hero for themselves.
Oh, okay.
we got
Wait,
like,
there's a fight?
Yeah. We got like 5 different people playing Anna when she comes out. I'm like, guys, come on.
So there's already a Thunderdome where you all compete with Anna. Like, how's that decided?
Replay analysis.
You just figure it out. Like, I mean, that hero's probably never mine because you're not solo supporting it, and I'm always going to be like knocked down. They're going to be like, no, you play this other hero so well. They're going to try to.
Your Rhaegar cleanses.
Yeah.
Muy
like,
bueno.
I can't hit a cleanse. You got to play that one. While they're hitting skill shots with every one of their abilities,
So speaking of that, so today a balance patch came out, and actually there was the teams participating in BlizzCon were a little bit upset with like the patch coming out, and it was on the PTR, and now they actually pushed it live today. Where did you fall in that in terms of like them having like a new character possibly entering the game for BlizzCon and having like these changes being applied on the PTR but not in the real game yet? Where would you fall in that?
I kind of agree with like the Junkrat not being allowed, because I feel like if it was Junkrat balance patch, like after they patch a bunch of stuff of Junkrat in case there's anything like super broken, because I feel like a lot of times a hero comes out and the first week everyone thinks they're awful or amazing, and then eventually people find the right build with them and they either become like super broken or at least like a decent tier. So like, I think it's risky to be like, all right, this hero is allowed on the first iteration of his abilities and talents.
So today, like a big patch came out, right? How long do you think it takes for your team to feel like you really know the new meta that came out with the patch? Like a couple weeks, a week, a few days?
Generally, I'd say a week probably gives you enough time to try out all like the new talents that get changed, the new heroes. But I mean, sometimes like you miss stuff. Like going to Crucible, I don't think we realized like how big a priority Brightwing was for like a lot of other teams, because we just hadn't been playing it that much when we were scrimming.
Okay.
Yeah, Brightwing's awesome.
Well, she was awesome.
Yeah,
I saw that you won, Scott. I saw that you won like 10 games in a row with Brightwing on Hero League.
Hey, since the Z build change, I'm like 13, 14, and 2.
One trick.
One
So,
trick.
Yep.
so
Carry me to Masters.
So BBJ, with the latest patch that came out today, a lot of the healers got nerfed. Like Morales got nerfed, Brightwing got nerfed. Who else?
Anna got nerfed.
Stukov got hurt pretty bad.
Yes, Stukov. So
Stukov. Ooh.
So actually, when BlizzCon is happening in 2 or 3 weeks, what type of support comps are we going to be seeing? Is it going to be like tons of double support with like Rhaegar and Uther being played a lot primarily?
I still think Medic is like a top healer even after the nerfs today. Like, I mean, they nerfed her grenade talents which was pretty nice because if people like jump on top of you, you just spam E on yourself, and you get a shield and you run away.
That was awful.
So it'll hurt a bit, but I mean, she still heals for the same amount. She still sustains to people to full and then has no mana costs. Let's go Stukov. I don't know why they nerfed Stukov because I don't think he's going to be seen much anyway. I think the Brightwing nerfs were actually pretty big, but I think she still might see some play on like bigger maps just because she's a nice global and a support.
But they all nerfed all these supports. Now who's left? Like Rhaegar, Uther?
Rhaegar and Uther.
I mean, they kind of nerfed Rhaegar before too. They made his like single target healing more AOE spread out.
Yeah,
that was what 2 weeks ago.
I mean, Uther's still pretty decent because he gives cleanses and like one big heal. So if you have like one single target you're trying to protect, he'll do a pretty good job. I mean, Rhaegar. Yeah, you can dust in decent one. That's fun. I mean, Rhaegar will always be good just because he's a solo laner and a support, really. He can clear waves on his own. He can clear merc camps on his own. And he brings healing and cleanse.
So it seems like that it's gonna be kind of boring though when the BlizzCon happens. That like I think we're just gonna see primarily mostly Rhaegar and Uther and maybe some Oriole and some Brightwing. I feel like it's gonna be kind of boring from a support perspective.
I mean the meta in like China and Korea for a while has been like first ban medic, second ban like the second team bans Oriole to just get the sustain supports out, and then like you see a lot of pretty interesting games where it's like two teams running two subpar healers. Like they'll have like Monk Brightwing or like Stukov Rhaegar. And you get to see like some cool combinations there.
So actually, how much time, if any, do you spend watching the other regions like Korea or Europe or China at all?
It depends how bad my sleep schedule is messed up. if like the other day or like I don't know a few weeks ago, like I stayed up for the Korean matches, and that's like 4 a.m. my time is when they start. So that was pretty rough. But I mean, if I hear there's a good match, or I'll go through like on Master League and I'll look through and I'll see if like two good teams from another region play each other. Then I'll watch those games.
So is it? I mean, like obviously, I think in Korea, Morales is really, really prioritized now. And do you ever like take any learnings from that? Like, do you ever ask yourself why is Morales prioritized in Korea but not in Europe or not in North America? Does that enter at all into your... I mean,
sometimes it's like a bait to do that because you're like, all right, like they're banning this because it must be good, but sometimes like they're banning this because they know if they don't ban this and the other team picks this, then they can't do this because it's like a bunch. I mean, there's just so much scrims that they've done that we don't get to see. So it's like stuff that you can get like baited into thinking that they're banning this for just because it's an OP hero when it's really they just know that the other team wants it or wants them to pick it or something. Yeah.
Okay. And so like a typical day, how much time like what are you doing like on a typical day now? Are you just playing for like 5 hours and then are you like doing other work related stuff, or what's a typical day for you now?
I mean, right now I've taken a break from HOTS for like last 3 days. Celebration for myself. But I mean, normally we scrim starting at 4 my time to like 11 when we were scrimming. And then I'd play HOTS for at least 2 or 3, sometimes like 5 hours before then. That was kind of just my whole day.
And how much time, if any, is spent watching replays? Like if you watch like the Even Death games, like do you guys all do that together like on Discord and watch them together as a team, or
if we have like a specific scrim game that we see, or I mean sometimes if like I think like I like in Crucible when we're in the tournament, like if the team we're playing into is on, we'll all be on Discord watching that. I haven't watched the Even Death replays because I'm scared to see more 5-man moshes.
Actually,
speaking of those,
like, during the Crucible, who had the idea of using the Even in Death spray? Like who
that was
who's
me.
the troll?
That was
you?
me.
Much love on that one.
Overconfident much.
Nice.
I mean, that's my mentality, man. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
So,
I gotta look away, man.
Bad memories.
So
We're
I actually had a
winning the
question.
entire
So
time.
obviously you were winning that game, and then obviously you didn't win the game. But how? No. But like, what do you guys do as a team tonight? Like, not to let it get you down. Like, how's that?
Yeah.
What's that? What happens like internally on comms with you guys?
Yeah, what happened on the comms? I was interested.
I mean, as soon as we get mashed, as soon as we got moshed, I think somebody was saying like, "Oh, we're all right here." I'm like, "No, dude, we're all dead, man." But I mean, it's just like, don't let that happen again. And then after like the game, we just say like, we know we're the better team and stuff. Just like we were winning that whole game until we messed up. So just don't mess up.
Yeah, how do you have the balls to go from like that 5-man mosh, turn the tide, and pretty much won them that game, to ETC's pick the next game and you say, fuck it, we're gonna go a full dive comp right in his face. Like,
I mean, we just say don't group up, and then we do.
You have giant brass balls. That's how you do it.
Yeah. We just we picked Abathur so they could only get a 4-man mosh max,
Nice.
Like obviously, like you've dedicated a lot of time to becoming a pro player, but was that like a hard sell? Like, when you told your mom, like, hey, I want to do this like as a job. Like, was that like a hard sell on your part, or?
I mean, most of the time I was doing it, I was in school for it. Like, I was going to community college during most of it. But I mean, yeah, when I decided to like take off a semester, it was a bit of a. My mom was pretty cool. That she's always been pretty supportive. My dad was a little harder of a sell. But,
yeah.
Okay.
What do they think now after the win when you went to celebrate?
She was going crazy. She was more excited than I was, I think,
Oh,
right after it
man.
happened.
Wait, she watches your games?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Or does she actually play HOTS?
No.
Does she know what's going on?
That's where I drew the line.
It's like
Yeah.
gold level.
Is
or
she a diamond player?
better than me, maybe. I don't know.
She
She
sends you a
tries to understand
screenshot
what's
2
going
months
on.
from now and she's diamond 1 or something.
She'll replace
Look,
me.
son.
She's
I'm just
doing my replacement soon.
I'm grinding.
I grinded your dad to get you, and now I'm grinding Hero League.
Oh, wow.
Oh, is that too much? I'm sorry.
Too much.
I'm
Too
sorry.
much.
He's your friend,
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
or was maybe. Who knows?
I'm
Or
sorry.
was.
Yeah. But what type of do you have any advice for like if there's like a 15-year-old boy or girl watching this or listening to this and they want to maybe pursue a game or a career in gaming? Is there any type of advice you have for those people?
Don't. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you really want to do it, find, your niche, kind of. I mean, if you're really good, then your niche is already pretty established and be a pro player. But, I mean, if you're not, like, amazing at it, then you got to find some other thing you can pursue in the game, kind of.
Because it seems like your job is not really glamorous. Like it seems like you're at home with your dogs all day, and you're just playing HOTS all the time.
Yeah.
Like
Pretty
nonstop
much.
though. But it's not like a casual person they'll get on for like an hour on the weekend on a Saturday, and then they'll go off and do whatever else they want to do. You're actually playing, 6 hours a day at least.
Put in like 30, 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely can take some of the, like when I first started playing HOTS, because I was playing for it because it was fun. And now that's not necessarily always the case. I mean, sure, I'll find like some heroes fun, or, I mean, scrims are always fun just because it's competitive and I like it. And like tournaments are fun, but I mean, the HL grind's not always very fun.
Yeah. What do you
What are you
do
working
when
on?
you're
Like-
when you're 5 straight losses into a Hero League grind, and
That's-
how do you revert that?
It's when I bust out the Nazebo,
All right.
That's when I stop playing supports. And I just try to win a game on the DPS and have some fun.
I have a question. What are you working on when you're doing the scrims? You're not just playing games, right? You have some focused practice, right? You're like, I want to practice these certain things. Like, what are they?
I mean, generally we have like comp outlines, like compositions we either want to try out or we want to refine. Like if we're playing an open team, we'll generally try out stuff, like see if this is good or the new hero or something is good. And then when we were playing like upper level HGC teams, we'd be refining things we had practiced against like teams that we thought was good. So we
But
could
then
figure out
again-
if this was actually good or if it was just good because they were bad.
Like you're playing against other teams, right? and you can only play with a handful of teams that actually gives you good practice, and all those teams are also teams you're competing against, right? So how much can you actually refine your strats to the best of your abilities before they catch on and start banning?
When we were in Open, it was like a nice little middle ground, because it's like whenever we're playing the HGC teams, they can show everything against us without any fear of us like ever playing them or whatever, and we can show whatever we want against them, because HGC and Open are kind of on like two different metas almost. Like we would scrim HGC teams, and we'd be playing like one type of thing, and it'd be going well against HGC teams. But then when we try to play in an Open tournament, it's like they're picking way different stuff than the HGC teams were, and it doesn't kind of work as well.
Yeah, like I know Swab's like Zarya.
Yeah, that we did not practice much against Zarya that week going into it.
So when you're watching other pro teams, are there like certain like support players that you watch, like that you focus on? Like maybe you're a big fan of Akaface or Bakery or Smexy. Do you do that at all, or is that just more like fanboy?
When I first started, I was looking up to June a lot. I think when I was like, I think phase 1 and even before HEC, like June was by far the best support in NA. I think now Tempo Storm's kind of buckling down. I think he'll probably get there again. But I think he's over the only support I've ever really looked up to in NA.
Okay.
So did you just say you're the best support in NA?
Yeah.
All right.
Indirectly.
Drop the bomb.
Going to Reddit with that.
Yeah.
But so this is like this is unrelated. So it's more about like I just wonder, I don't want to. I'll talk about it from my point of view. All right, so I'm 35 years old, and when I'm single, and when I tell women,
This is going dark.
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm just curious. No, I'm just really curious, like how this.
How do you get chicks? Is that what this is about?
No, I actually want to have a real conversation about this. No, but like, so obviously, when I tell women that like I do a podcast about HOTS, right? Or they don't know what the hell that is, but like you can just see like like anti-libido or whatever goes down. Like it goes.
You can see their pussy dry up.
Yeah.
Inverse boner.
Yeah.
And you can hear it dry up.
Yeah. No, obviously I don't. Well, anyway, do you feel like when you're out on the town, you're do you like when you I don't know if you like girls or not, but if you do, like do you tell?
Do I bring it up?
Yeah, that you're a
No, not really.
Okay.
You're a pro now.
He's been a pro for 2 days. Give him a break.
Well, most of the time I had like either a part-time job and or school going on. So I just say I was in school and working.
Right.
And then, I don't know, maybe my approach changes now. Try to
I'm just really
show them some sick interviews like this one.
Yeah, you get good enough and you'll have groupies.
You don't want to show them this interview.
Yeah.
We're like,
because one of our co-hosts who's not here right now, he's actually like a game developer, and he shares a different point of view that girls love gamer guys, and in my experience, it's the complete opposite. I was just curious if that was different for
you're in the
a younger
hippiest
guy.
part of the country, so
Yeah, you're in Portland.
yeah,
I don't know,
you're
Chicago.
kind of outside the bubble.
Oh well, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, and Byron's lives inside the bubble. Where is he in Orange County?
OC.
That's right,
Yeah,
there in the
County,
middle. Yeah.
LA or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those are all the questions I had. Do you guys have anything else for BBJ?
I have a question. So at the end of the last game, they interviewed Ishbu, and he said that you told him after you assembled everyone else on the team that you had a free ticket to HGC. Like, was that like
I wasn't wrong
after you formed the team?
He
It was
wasn't
a little
wrong
bit closer
either.
than you thought to make that proclamation, I think, right? Did you
Series
say that
was
like right after?
closer than I thought. It was we were like forming the team, and it was like, what tank do we get in this issue? So I texted him once, and he didn't respond to my first text. So I was like, hey, respond. I just got you a free ticket to HGC. Something like that.
Nice.
That's pretty gutsy, I think, to make that statement. Just outperforming the team, but you guys did it. Congrats on that.
Yeah, he carried them to HG.
Yeah, actually, my last question is: where do you guys think? Obviously, you guys think you guys are. Where do you guys think you guys will end up? At, in by the midseason brawl next year. Where do you guys think you guys will be in the standings?
I mean, I think it'll be hard to tell because I think there's going to be a ton of roster changes in NA. I think it's going to be like a full biggest roster apocalypse ever. But
Why is that?
I think we get
though?
top 3.
Well, GFUs be separate.
There's a lot of things that you hear that could be happening.
I think in the rules now there is no 2-player limit in roster swaps as long as it's in a certain time period. They set up like a certain schedule within the season blocks that you can make roster changes in, and it's kind of unlimited, I think, now. So it could be entire teams disappearing and forming new. That's what I heard.
So actually, you may have an advantage then, because if teams are going to start, a lot of teams are going to have brand new rosters. Essentially, it may give you like a leg up.
Yeah, I mean, generally you'd think like the Crucible team coming in would be the newest team, kind of, but I think there'll be a lot of teams. I think almost every HGC team will make at least one change.
Okay. Okay. No, I was going to ask you. I had another question. But I'm not going to ask it. That's too. It's too salty. It's too salty for me.
I know.
Oh,
I know where
wow.
you were going. You shouldn't.
Where was I going?
What?
Where was I going?
Were you going with something with Roll 20?
No.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with
That's
Roll
what I thought
20.
you were gonna
I think he was going to go even to death.
No. I don't want to.
I think even in
Even-
Def already disbanded.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
Like right
Why would they stay
afterwards.
together? They're not an HGC.
Yeah.
You might as
Also-
well disband. Maybe you get picked up by one of the pro teams during the roster apocalypse.
Yeah. And even in Death also, not even in Death, Team Good Guys.
Also, actually, do you guys ever talk about internally about like how I think it's pretty obvious that Europe and Korea are the top 2 regions. Do you guys ever have talks about like why those teams are doing better than NA and like what are things that you could take away from those regions and apply it to your team?
I mean, we look at like drafts and stuff, and we look at like these teams play more Hero League than a lot of North American teams do. So we put a priority on like actually being a team that plays Hero League a lot.
Okay.
But is Hero League higher quality in the other regions?
I mean, you can make that argument, I guess. But I mean, I've never played Hero League in the EU or Korea, so I don't know.
All right, fair enough.
But I guess also the point is if more pros were playing Hero League, then it would be higher quality.
So actually, so who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win BlizzCon?
Win BlizzCon? Could be Fnatic, could be MVP Black, maybe Dig.
Is Roll 20
It's-
making it
it's-
out of their group into top 4?
Let me find their group.
It's the hardest.
They
group.
got
Yeah, they're the
Dignitas
first
and,
seed. They're the-
Tempest.
They're
so.
the first seed, right? Yeah, so they get screwed. No, Earl 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been better having the second or third seed as far as the
Yeah, second and third
their pools.
Which one are they? Actually, they got the good round 1 matchup. So I guess there's a chance they're gonna play either Tempest or Dig in like a best of 3, I think. So I mean, you can win one best of 3 against a better team. It's not undoable.
So do you actually care on any level which region does well? If NA does well, do you care at all?
I mean, I'll root for NA teams just because
Okay.
I know their storylines better. I know the players more. Like I know the top teams of Korea and EU like a decent amount. Like I can tell you most of the players probably. But I don't scrim against them. I don't play them in Hero League. Yeah.
Actually, like they're gonna when they're in town like in 2 weeks for the first like late October, they're gonna be in North America, right? Can't you scrim against them then? If you wanted to?
Yeah. We're trying to decide if we're gonna scrim during that time just to scrim against the better teams.
Yeah, this
And
is
also,
kind of,
it would depend if we can get those scrims. They might want to only scrim the better BlizzCon teams.
because I feel like if I was you, I'd want to play against Dignitas and Fnatic and MVP Black just to do it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, playing against like a lot of teams shy away from playing against better teams in scrims because they don't like to like lose and get demoralized. But I mean, that's the best way to improve is to get stomped on.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was you, I'd want to play against Fnatic and get stomped on. That'd be fun.
That'd be
I don't know about fun.
Just to see it. No, you know, like just to see it, like to see like where I need to go.
It'd be a learning experience.
Yeah, because like actually, when I used to be a baseball scout, you know, it was always like the minor league teams would always be really excited when like a rehabbing MLB player would come to the game because like you actually get to see what a good, you know, what a major league pitcher looks like or a major league hitter looks like, and you realize really quickly what you're doing now will not work. And that's when kids, these prospects, learn, you know, a lot, or they just become, you know, down and out about it. But the ones that really learn from it, are the ones that actually succeed and make it to the majors. So I don't know. I think it'd be cool to play against those teams. So.
Robin of Luxley asked in chat, do you ever just go into Team League as a team and stomp people?
No, not really. I don't think we've ever team league together.
Those
You
queue
guys are too
times would be
nice.
too long.
Yeah. We actually, I think we queued up for one, and it was a 17,000 second queue the other day.
Wow.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't our full team, but it was like me, Ishbu, and McIntyre, I think, and then 2 other people, and it was 17,000 seconds, and we just stopped that. And queued for unranked. We queued for unranked draft. Got like an 8,000 second queue. It finally popped, and then someone on the other team dodged.
Yeah.
And eventually we just gave up and went to quick match.
You know, it'd be fun.
No.
I just had a really funny idea. What we could do, right? Again, you can say no to this, okay? And actually, I want you to say no to this. But what we could do is do a scrim against the Gankbush squad against you guys.
That would be a waste of your time.
Yeah,
If
it's
I'm
a
honest.
game.
We talked about streaming some scrims at some point. If we can
Oh,
find
so
You know,
teams.
some of us are silver and gold level players, actually.
Yeah.
Do you if you want to watch the finest, most average players in all the game?
So,
Oh no.
that's funny. That made me laugh. So, but okay. Well, any other questions for BBJ?
All right, let's say you're a gold level climbing hero league. You're a support main. What's my one hero as a main? Not Rhaegar.
Not Rhaegar? Ooh, that's rough.
Right wing.
Could be right wing. Right wing, you can soak off lanes and like just get your team lead there. Monk. Once you get level 16 on Monk, if you're good at Monk and you hit your palms, you can, you know, solo backliners and save your team. I mean, Medic, still pretty broken right now, but you kind of relying on your carry. Same with Ariel.
What about Lucio?
I mean, I love Lucio, but he's not the easiest to carry with. Although I think my hero league rating with Lucio right now is like 12-4 this season. So maybe you can carry.
I mean, you have carried, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess.
I get it.
You know, it's funny. I feel that Lucio is going to be like the smoking gun for supports in HEC or for BlizzCon this year. I feel like a lot of teams are practicing their Lucio play.
Well, I mean, Lucio's pretty important because he has some anti-burst because his ultimate gives a fatty shield to everybody, so he can save someone from getting one shot. He is insane sustain healing, and then the move speed he gives is just super nice. And he's like probably the best support against Malthael. Like, not many other heroes answer Malthael well, but like Malthael goes into your team, pops ult, and you just use your ult, and he's just completely countered.
Yeah. Malthael just got nerfed again too, so
Yeah.
he's weaker.
2% now,
but-
right?
I mean, the big thing about Lucio is he gives a giant shield, so Malthael can't reduce it with his level 7. Like healing reduction.
Oh, also, actually, do you have like a mathematician or like someone on your team that does all the math?
No, we don't really have like an analyst.
Okay.
I know a lot of teams do.
Oh, really? Do they like hire like a stats
Analyst.
person?
Yeah, I mean, somebody's just good with like spreadsheets and stuff.
They just get like an Asian guy off the street.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, if you guys have a spot open on your team, I'm Korean,
Bacon.
so I felt like the joke was writing itself, but you guys weren't catching on to it.
Well, you had
We'll
to say
send
you're
you
Korean.
Yeah,
We'll send you a math quiz as a application form.
right. I can long divide.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I bet Bacon got 800 on his math and on the SATs.
That's my SAT score, man. 800.
Nice. There you go.
Of course.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So
Job interview.
All categories.
okay. So actually, I just wanted to talk like 2 more things, I think, and then I wanted to talk about Junkrat. So BBJ, I know you've had a few days off, but do you have any thoughts on Junkrat at all?
I don't know. I think the problem with like a lot of people are saying he's like good because of his utility, and I've seen a lot of baby rages about like his ultimate suiciding thing. But I feel like he's just another hero that his damage is just not consistent enough. Like if you look at the like competitive scene, it's like Vala, Greymane, Gul'dan, Lunaras, like even like Genji and Malthael. Like all those heroes' damage is like consistent.
Well, it seems like McIntyre's been having a hell of a time playing him.
I mean, give him Mac as a hero he can just go in and die on is always, he'll have a good time.
Nice.
But all right, so Scott, what do you think about McIntyre? Or not McIntyre, but Junkrat.
No, McIntyre.
Nah, I hate that guy.
McIntyre, like
Both.
I mean, I haven't played him that much, but he seems kind of like a troll character a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like he's like a ranged assassin troll character for noobs.
Yeah, and an assassin. I thought maybe he'd be considered a specialist.
Yeah.
He does a lot of wave clear type things. His auto attack is AoE and his grenades. He does like a lot of wave clear type things. Didn't you say that McIntyre was doing more damage on Blackheart's Bay than the cannons with him or something like that? Well, backpack.
Yeah, level 20. You can see his video where he posts. He gets the upgraded rocket ride, so it casts every 30 seconds. So he'll just take the rocket, blow it up to a keep, ride the rocket back to the keep, and explode it every 30 seconds. He went down in about 3 rockets.
Yeah, it sounds
was
pretty trolly.
Very, very trolly.
They have
Yeah,
to change
it
his
was-
trait so it doesn't do damage to buildings.
Yeah,
That'd be a big help.
it wasn't fair. But I mean, Matt had a lot of fun with it. Like he was like, "Yeah, this isn't fair, guys."
Look at Pat. He's calling him Mac like he knows McIntyre.
Yeah, I know this guy, man. We're
It's on
cool.
my quick dial.
Yeah,
Oh, Mac.
I
How
messed
you
with
doing,
him, man.
Mac? Oh, God. You called him Mac already. So, all right. So, what do you think, Bacon, of Junkrat?
I think he's too gimmicky right now. I think the grenade's going to be a huge trolley ability with all the displacements. So there's going to be a lot of crappy Junkrats throwing it down. Oh, I got him, guys, and then you throw him away, and the enemy walks away with like 10 HP. You can't get him because you blew him up in the wrong direction. I feel like there's going to be moments like that, and a lot of Junkrats missing skill shots because of the bounce mechanic. I think they need to look at that rocket ultimate, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt, BBJ. So, wild guess, which region, if any, adopts, Junkrat first and really uses him like a lot, if at all?
Like not at BlizzCon because he's banned at BlizzCon now.
No, I mean, like, let's say like
Just in general?
6 months from now, if he's tuned right, like, which region do you think is going to be the first to adopt him?
I mean, I don't watch China that much, but isn't China just like
Yeah.
the crazy YOLO kind of
Yeah, that's what I
style?
thought.
So man, I feel like they could use the rocket ultimate the best. They just go in, get really low HP, and then suicide bomb. I'm just excited for they're gonna have a brawl where everyone's Junkrat and everyone's gonna be able to launch each other like the Ziggs thing that League of Legends had. So that's what I'm ready for.
How did you
play Brawl? You guys actually play Brawl. You don't just scrim all the time. You actually play Brawl.
Play it, the good ones, the good
All right.
brawls.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
The
question-
Chromie, the one, the Stitches one.
Yeah, in the pool party, who did the best in your team?
Oh,
Oh. I mean, are we talking accuracy or total hits? Because
Total
I
hits.
throw a lot of hooks and I miss a lot. But
It's like me in college.
I think Ishbu might have had the best accuracy because he was like playing it like a real game. He was like, "Oh, I don't want to use my hook here,"
Saving his cooldowns.
But I mean, bet most hits. I might have been Mac or something. I don't know.
Okay, that was by far the best brawl they ever did.
Yeah.
Do you guys do you and other pro players, you and other, professional players, do you guys actually have like a special Discord just for you guys? And you guys just talk shit to each other all the time and play games together?
Not really. Everybody kind of has. It's pretty clicky, honestly.
Oh,
That's So everybody has like their crew that they play with, kind of.
So it's like high school.
Yeah, it's a little high schooly.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
And everyone has their own like secret chat channels that they join too, right?
I mean, everybody has like their Discord, so it's like this is this people's Discord.
Yeah. So like after some teams some players lose games, do they like write poetry for like an hour after games? Stuff like that.
I don't know.
Break poetry.
What?
It's like a high school thing. I'm thinking.
What was going on at your high school, man?
That's funny.
High school in the suburbs.
Yeah.
A lot of teen angst.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess you guys want to do the Overwatch thing and just call it? Yes? No?
Oh, no, we're only an hour in. We can do like one or two more things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys want to do the patch? Or do you guys want to do the Overwatch question?
We could. I think Overwatch and then the support rankings.
We kind of did that already with BBJ. A little bit, because we talked about like Rhaegar and like we talked about Morales and Brightwing and actually, what do you think about Anna? We actually didn't get your thoughts on Anna.
I think Anna's interesting. I don't know. I feel like Sleep and her anti-heal are super good, but it seems like nobody. I mean, at least the Hero League games I've seen and stuff. I haven't seen her competitively used at all because she wasn't allowed in Crucible or anything. But I feel like she should be a really good hero. Assuming that, I guess she doesn't bring any wave clear, and she doesn't really bring any good single target damage. So she has to bring enough through her utility of like having sleep, which is super good if you have comms, because you're like, this guy's asleep, and then you group up around him and then hit him at the same time. And then her anti-healing, because you can just stop Ancestral, you can stop Palm, all these different like big ultimates. Just I don't know if it outweighs not having any wave clear or any like real damage.
Okay.
Remember,
And
you only stop Palm if it's the last hit. Confirmed by Bacon.
Oh, really? Like if they have the W on them and then die? It doesn't count?
So what happens from Scott and I's experiments? If you have it on you and then you die, what happens is the Divine Palm clears all statuses and then applies the heal after a little wait. But when it's the killing blow, the statuses are cleared and then, but somehow with the timing that the debuff stays.
That might be
Right.
it.
I think it's like Palm takes like 2 seconds to trigger, and the debuff only lasts like 2 seconds. So if you hit it like too early,
it's not that.
doesn't
It's
trigger.
not even the timing thing either. It's if you die with it on, the debuff just clears itself away. It just you don't see it on Karazim's health bar, but if it's the killing blow, then it still goes through. So you can see the healing debuff while the palm's activating.
That's weird because I know other heroes heal debuffs like just half the number, like just cut the palm healing in half. Like Malthael's 7 talent will just make palm only heal for half.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I assume.
You can bring up the
maybe
video.
maybe all
Bacon.
those mechanics work that it has to be kind of like the killing blow. That spell has to be the killing blow.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think BBJ is telling you to advance your Mythbusters out towards other new healings.
Oh, there's like one little
There's
mechanic. We can
Zool.
have like 70 different heroes.
I mean,
The video will
there's
be like
there's
40
Zool
minutes
and
long.
Malthael.
I mean, if you're gonna claim to be the Mist Butters, man, you got to put in the work.
Yeah, bust those myths.
I'm not busting myths. I'm just they're in the Nexus, and I'm occasionally visiting.
So actually, BBJ, so we actually have like a lot of new players to Heroes of the Storm, and I tend to believe that if you're a brand new player and you actually haven't played the game before, that you should probably play supports initially before you move on to other types of before you move on to assassin or warrior. What do you think about that advice?
I think it makes sense because I mean, support you're rarely on your own, kind of. So like when you're playing support, you're following around a tank or a DPS, and so you kind of get an understanding of like, all right, like this assassin wants to go and wave clear right now and soak, and then like the tanks getting vision or trying to go gank somebody here. It's like you never have to. You honestly, when you're starting off as a support, you never really have to make your own decision. You kind of just pick somebody to follow, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna heal this guy, and I'm gonna do whatever he's doing.
So, do you feel that if you're a new player that you should probably like stick to like an easier support, like a Lily or like a Malfurion now, the way that he's played?
I don't even play Lily, so that's
you don't play Lily, huh?
Wow. I'm like a level 9 Lily.
Not even with like a double support?
Huh? I mean, if we're double supporting, then someone else is playing the Lily. So I'll play everyone. Others.
What do you have against pandas? Do you hate pandas?
No, I'll play Chen, man. I don't know.
One of the sponsors for this podcast is Panda Express.
Oh,
Yeah.
Be careful what you say on the show, sir.
I think he hates adventure. That's what it is.
Yeah, I hate adventure and not being able to target any of my abilities. I didn't like Sonya in League.
Well, Blizzard does that for you when you play Lily, and Blizzard knows best.
That's true.
So if your team was going up against like a Illidan Tracer, you're not gonna go Lily?
I mean, we picked it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But I didn't play it.
Oh, you don't play. But you're not against it.
No, I don't know. I never found a reason to play that hero. Like,
Are you better than Lily? Is that why? You're too good for her?
I'm too good for her now.
He ain't got no time to put little pussy ass dragons on people. he's gotta be.
I wanted to be a butcher main, and then I played against too much Lily, so I'm scarred for life.
The panda beat the butcher.
Yeah, like for the common player when they play Team League, like a lot of some people that listen to us, they play Team League with 4 other friends, and what they tend to do is they tend to put like the worst player on support.
By the way, Fringe's support.
Yeah, no, me. Yeah, I don't mind being the worst player. Like I'm the worst player sometimes.
Either me or Fringe.
Yeah, but like, what do you think about that statement? Like, if you're playing, if you have a group of guys that are in platinum or diamond, or actually we'll say platinum, and they say that the worst player should be the support player. What are your thoughts on that statement?
I mean, it makes some sense. Like the support, it's harder to mess up on support, kind of. Like as long as you don't run in, and I mean, I guess Kenma proved us wrong with that. I mean, like I don't know. As long as you don't go in and die, like you're always doing like something helpful, kind of. Like as long as you're casting your abilities on your teammates and not dying. Whereas damage, you kind of have to know who to hit when. Tanks, you kind of have to manage your health pool more. But I think you can also carry pretty hard on support, on like certain supports, by just
do you think
saving your teammates and stuff.
Your ability to carry is also enabled by the hard carry's ability to carry himself, and then it enables you in return. But if the carry sucks, then there's not much you can do.
It depends on like the matchup, kind of. Like if you have like a hero that, as long as they're auto attacking, they're doing damage, then it's like, all right, I can keep this guy alive, and he'll just keep autoing. But then I mean, I don't know if your carry's like a mage that has to hit skill shots and stuff, and they're just whiffing. You can get pretty hard.
Yeah.
So, other than Lily, what's the worst character in the game, in your opinion?
Lily, that's rough.
So, who you hate the most, really?
Yeah, which character you're like, no, this guy's gonna be level 1 or level 2, and that's it.
Medivh?
The only hero that I have level 1 and 2, or level 1, is Garrosh and Cassia, because I just never got around to buying them. But I don't like hate them at all.
You have
Ross
Gazlo high
Vikings.
levels?
You have Ross Vikings.
Huh? But the Vikings I have like level 3 or 4. I don't hate them. I hate Samuro. I hate that hero.
Yes.
Don't like playing him.
Yeah.
That might be the only. Probius is pretty anti-fun, I've found. I don't enjoy him at all.
Here it's Pubius, just so you know that.
Pubius? All right.
Pubius.
Pubius. All right.
Our argument for Probius is not completely ineffective, but he's also frustrating to play against, so we call him Pubius, the dick adjacent probe.
Oh,
because he's not a full dick. He's dick adjacent.
Yeah. So actually, like when new patches come out, do you get like all the skins for free?
Maybe I think now. I don't mean my like I don't have like a Blizzard account yet, but I think eventually I will.
Yeah, I'm actually. I'm gonna hit you up on Twitter like in 2 months and see if that's true or not. 'Cause I'm just like I just feel like that it's really cool that if that is the case.
Yeah, I mean I know at one point a lot of the HGC players were playing on like mounts in Hero League and stuff that like weren't even out yet. So I think that's the case.
Oh wow, that's really cool. Nice. So so where were we? I lost track.
Well, we were talking about supports a little bit. We can
Oh,
move
yeah.
on to Overwatch and then
actually no. One, like what other support would go well with Ana?
I mean Lucio for the Overwatch synergy probably.
just for the lore.
Yeah, for the lore reasons. I mean, Ana's kind of weird because like she has really good sustain healing because she has a low mana, low cooldown heal, but she kind of also has burst healing because it's like all at once. So I think you either pair her with like an Uther or Rhaegar or someone who can save somebody, and then Ana can sustain them up as long as they don't die, or you pair her with like an Auriel or a medic, and Ana's job is to just like throw her nade on whoever is getting jumped on and spam Qs at them. So you're like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't scrimmed with her at all or anything.
Okay. So do you think that's going to be your character like in 2 months, or is it? I'm
gonna try and have it be my character. I feel like it's gonna get taken away from me, but
how does that work?
I'm a spammer until
like is it like do you guys all just play together and then you just say, oh, you know, so and so is the better Ana, like he's gonna be the Ana player? Is that how that works?
I mean, sometimes it comes down to like we're picking Ana with these other healers. And I play those other healers and someone else doesn't.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just forced off the Ana, or it comes down to like, I mean, everybody kind of has the like archetypes of what they play. Like Crone's like our range DPS, but he generally plays like the auto attackers. Whereas Arth is like the range flex, but he's, you know, on the mages more often than not and stuff like that.
So basically, go for it.
How often are you running into situations in draft like, let's say McIntyre already picked his hero that no one else can play, right? And then, or like Ishbu already picked one tank, and then you're like, oh damn, if we had Diablo on this comp, it would be sick. But Ishbu's already picked his tank. You know, so
I mean,
you can't pick Diablo because no one else plays Diablo on the team.
With our team, we're pretty flexible. Like Matt can play all the supports because he has like I think Malphantire is his support only Smurf. So he spams a bunch of support to get GM. Arthalon can play almost any hero just because he's been playing for so long that he's at one point in time probably had to play the hero in competitive at least once. And then Matt can also play like all the melees in some of the ranges. So like between Arth, Mac, and Mac, they can basically fill any 2 heroes or roles they need to.
Nice.
Like even if we wanted like Diablo ETC, like we could put Mac on like the split push ETC or something like that.
So you're not really prioritizing like who has to practice which heroes because you're already that, you know, flexible with it.
Yeah, I mean we'll say like in a draft we'll be like, all right, we need like if we have like one spot left and it's like clearly like Crone's got his gray main, we have a healer, a tank, and then McIntyre has like the second support. We're like, all right, we need like an Arthalon hero here, but that doesn't mean we're limiting ourselves at all. Like we'll still pick stuff Arthalon's a little less comfortable on if it's clearly better.
Okay.
So basically, the only time you'll play Ana is if you guys have a Lily on your team.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll be looking forward to that next year.
Or a Tyrande maybe because team doesn't like me to play Tyrande, man. I don't know.
Oh,
that synergy sounds awful though.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bad.
Actually, so last week we had on our last show we talked about like is the Tyrande Owl build good game? Is it good game design? And what are your thoughts on that? Or actually, back. Oh, sorry. Back. You just said
it's fun.
Oh, okay.
It's fun. That's what I'll say. I mean.
Okay.
Well, it's fun for Tyrande. It's not fun for like, you know, the Li Ming who's being owled to death.
Yeah.
Well, the main argument that we came up with on the show is that it's a lot of work for the enemy team to deal with Tyrande and else, while it's really easy for Tyrande just to, you know, fire and forget. It's not a lot of effort.
I mean, once you're 13 on Tyrande, it's kind of a lot of effort because you need, if you're not hitting like the the CDR on your owls, then you're not going to be stacking as well. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw a min get one shot. I think the Tron had like 103 stacks, and it was only like level like 17 or 18. So like, if Tron's like power farming her owls with like CDR at 13, then it can get pretty oppressive. But then that's kind of on you messing up and like clumping for her to get multiple owls on each hit and the CDR. And they can get out of control.
But do you agree that the amount of work to put into the game is in Taranda's favor?
I mean, kind of.
Do you think it's 50-50 or 60-40 in her favor?
I mean, the problem is like all that hero does when you go owl build is like shoot owls, really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess super late game you can kind of like 1v1 people once you have like your auto attacks like shrink ray people. Then you can like 1v1 people, but I mean, for most of the game, you're just an owl bot that heals a little bit.
I like that. But, and throws out a 6 stun too, though. You can't.
Yeah,
I mean, that whiffs a lot of stuns.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whiffs a lot of stuns.
You got to follow up on the other stun or root.
So you said that you're essentially banned from playing Tyrande, right?
No, I mean not banned, but
But like they don't want you doing that.
There's a
it's
petition and
like
people
Anna.
are signing it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Like
it's kind of like Anna. Like we'll never.
Okay.
There's never a combination of supports where I'm on the Tyrande.
Okay. In my mind, I thought it meant like, Crowan or was like, what the fuck is this? What are you doing playing Tyrande? You can't play Tyrande.
No.
I guess
You're a
not.
support man. You don't have mechanics. You can't hit skill shots. Saying that
There's
as
no
a support,
plans on that
I'm
hero.
a support main as well, and that makes me feel bad.
So, when a new character comes into the game, do you care at all that it's a Warcraft or Overwatch or StarCraft character at all? Does that even enter your mind?
Not really. Like I never played WoW, ever. I played Overwatch when it first came out for a bit, and then was like, eh. Once the meta got set in Overwatch, I was like, this is pretty boring now. And then I would sometimes watch StarCraft, and I like thought it was like a cool game, like it looked fun to play, but I never played StarCraft, so I'm not really attached to the lore in any way.
And I guess our last topic that we wanted to discuss was, what are your thoughts on all the Overwatch characters coming into HOTS so far? Do you think they've been a good addition to the game, or?
I think some of them definitely have. I don't know if all of them.
What do you think about like the movement aspect of all the Overwatch heroes? Because they're pretty, in terms of that, it's pretty heavy power creep.
Yeah, I mean, Junkrat can't auto attack and move, can he?
No,
No.
you can't. No.
All right, so I mean, at least, the other ones, Tracer has to be able to auto move. It wouldn't make sense if she couldn't. Same with Lucio. Same with Diva. Who am I missing?
Zarya.
Zarya can't. So that's good.
Genji.
So that would be she'd be gross.
Genji
Genji
roots.
can, but I think Genji's auto attack animation is so long that if you made him stand still the whole time, then he'd be pretty bad as a hero. So I think they're good at they're at least like making sure they don't just go, all right, every Overwatch hero move when they shoot, and like every Overwatch hero manaless and stuff like that.
Do you like Genji in the game?
That's a loaded question.
No. Because like
Does it kill you too?
that character has been like, it's like it's so bipolar. Like some players love Genji, some people just absolutely do not like Genji.
He's kind of toxic.
I like playing him a lot.
Oh,
See?
I'm like a level 15 Genji. It's probably one of my higher level DPS. But
okay.
I don't know. I think there's a decent amount of heroes in the game that counter Genji now that he's been like nerfed a few times, a few batches of nerfs. And now that I think the strongest thing about him now is his level 20 Dragon Blade, where it's just infinite, and it's like it's not like all right.
They nerfed that today.
Yeah, they nerfed it today, which is good, but it might need more of a nerf because like Lucio counters Genji because Genji pops Dragon Blade, Lucio ults, and it's like Genji's not getting a reset during his Dragon Blade. But once level 20 hits, it's like all right, Lucio ults, Dragon Blade's going on for 40 more seconds.
Yeah. And there's all those, crazy cleanup, clips from HGC games that involve Genji. Yeah.
Most of them involve like Genji level 20, like a lot of them.
Yeah.
because it's like he can kite out of the fight and still come in with like huge AoE damage.
Do you
Yeah,
like playing
at least
against
with like Li Ming, there was a kind of like a mana issue because once you start spamming, she goes in pretty quick, and like there's a lot of body blocking things you can do with her skill shots. But with just Genji, she's like going through bodies left and right, doing damage at the same time. Kind of feels bad.
Yeah, the other day I actually learned that Genji's E, when he gets a reset, refunds the mana. I actually didn't know that until like recently. So I feel like they could nerf that by just making you refund some of the
Wait,
mana.
If he
but very
E's
little.
and then kill somebody.
I think it refunds the mana. I'm pretty sure.
It does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that until like the other day. But I feel like that's somewhere they could nerf him pretty heavily because a lot of the meta for Genji right now is like E talents the whole tier and spamming your E just back and forth through people.
That's the ping pong build.
So, but do you like in 3 months when you're playing an HEC game, are you going to be like shrugging or groaning when the enemy team chooses Genji? I mean, obviously the numbers are going to matter.
Numbers
a lot.
are different, but
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a bit more risky, I guess, because if you're picking Genji, you're probably not going like the normal double support, like just out sustain the enemy team kind of. You're kind of picking like a dive comp, and he's a pretty exciting hero to watch a lot of the time. But there's definitely times where playing against him, you're like, we didn't pick any point and click CC. It's almost like a tracer but the tracer needs attacks that are to be effective. The Genji doesn't really need any other resources.
It's pretty common to have him with an Uther, right, for the Divine Shield on when he dragon blades.
I mean, if he has a Uther or a Genji, then he can absolutely dominate. But I don't think he needs any additional support if he plays it correctly. He can kind of just like hover. He can spam Qs, like hover around the fight, and then if he sees someone low, just execute him.
So for when you're at BlizzCon, are you actually like because I'm really excited to see BlizzCon live and to see Fnatic, Dignitas, Roll20 play. Are you like a fanboy? Or are you just more like I want the free food and I'm just gonna meet my friends?
I mean, I'll definitely be watching like all the Heroes games when I'm there. I mean, NA is probably out by then, so I don't know who I'll be rooting for.
Bro.
Shots fired.
You can't say this.
No faith.
But I mean, I'm definitely watching the games.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. You seem very nonchalant about it because I don't know. I think it's really cool to see like the top 4 or 5 teams duke it out. I think it's really cool to see, and I'm really I'm looking forward to seeing probably Fnatic and MVP Black in the finals. So.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be cool. I mean, I've never been to like a convention really at all.
Oh.
Let alone a BlizzCon, so it'll be a new experience for me for sure.
Okay.
Wait, first BlizzCon?
Yeah, first BlizzCon, first anything really, like convention center involved kind of.
I think it's all our first BlizzCons. Like all 6 of us are, all of us are going in this call.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe remember you're gonna invite us to the pro after parties.
Pro parties.
Yeah, show us.
I'll sneak you guys
where
in.
all the free hot dogs are.
Oh, there we go.
And
God, why?
I mean that in both ways, baby girl.
I know.
Oh no, I didn't even think the other way. Oh,
Yeah, I didn't
dang.
think about that either, but all right.
Little ketchup,
Well-
little mayo.
Yeah.
So
So
and the
but,
tacos, right? Bacon. The tacos.
Oh, come on. Oh, pink tacos. Okay, come on.
You gotta like that koji beef taco.
Koji.
Koji beef.
So basically, BBJ, put this on your LinkedIn profile. Link to this on your LinkedIn.
No.
I'll have to make a LinkedIn first.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have a LinkedIn?
No.
Oh, I figured that all you guys would have LinkedIn, like saying a pro player, Blizzard.
Yeah, probably should
alright.
though now. I guess probably a good thing to do.
Yeah.
I'd put it on a resume if I
Yeah.
had a resume here.
There you go. All right. Well, okay. Well, it's been an hour and a half, and I'm very mindful of BBJ's time. And basically, he's been talking for an hour and a half. So I want to thank him again for lowering his standards and joining us tonight. So, and actually, it'd be really cool to hang out with you, just to say hi at BlizzCon if you're around. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll get many fans there, so
I don't know.
Well,
Don't.
Chef 5 right here.
We got 5 fans right now.
But
Yeah.
to be completely honest, though, our fans are very fanatical. So not in like a North Korea type of way, but like in a very oh my god.
Whoa.
What?
What?
No, we're like, oh my
If,
god.
if you mean it in a North Korean type of way that we enslave our fans into this in our Discord.
But anyway, our fans are pretty crazy. So, but you never know. So, but thank you again for joining us, and it's been very, very, I don't know, at least for me, it's very, very enlightening to get the views of actually a professional player. You know, so
Yeah, same here. It was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hopefully, I can come on after I've been a pro for more than a few days and actually have different opinions in a year from now or whatever.
I was told that Bacon like IM'd you like 4 minutes after you won, and
Yeah. He actually, I'm only here because he caught me so off guard. I was like, can't think of an excuse to get out of this.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really? Oh no. You guys, you're ruining my street cred, bro. Can't do this.
Look at this Korean fanboy. He won't leave me alone. Okay.
You know I was Korean.
Yeah.
But it was true. Literally 5 minutes after I was like, congrats. I was really hyped for him. I mean, I pretty much watched every game live, rooting for you because unfortunately, imported support, I'm going to name drop, but Swabs is also on my friends list, so I was rooting for him too. So.
I mean, I'm friends with all the imported guys. Like I like all of them. I mean, I was on Team with Rated last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was rooting for them too.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I think it's really cool. Like you're basically like the embodiment, for some players or some people, like the embodiment of the American dream. So don't no, seriously. A lot of people want to be you, and so don't squander it. Yeah. So I'm gonna watch all your games. I don't watch NA, but I will watch your games next season.
Oh, that's true. He doesn't watch NA. He doesn't even watch Roll20.
No,
that means I'm representing NA in his eyes, man.
Yeah. So, but no, just try your best. Don't squander it.
Yeah. No. I mean, I don't think I don't think any of the people on like our team are going to be like, we worked this hard to get here. Now let's slack off, take the paycheck.
No, like I think it'd be really cool, like a year from now or like 6 months from now, that you guys are number one in NA. That'd be really cool. Like we could say like, we had the number one support player in NA on our show 6 months ago. That's really cool. So
that's the dream.
Yeah.
He already self-proclaimed it, just him and June.
June? Yeah.
I just said
down
June's
there,
the
but
only, I just said June's the only one I look up to. Doesn't mean I'm better than the other ones.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Tower Baron to close it out.
Oh, 1 sec. I need to do a raffle now.
Oh,
yeah, there's money to give.
Yeah, there's money to give out, so I will open the raffle.
Is it even in death like sprays and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, I bought mine fair and square. I paid $7 for it.
And then sprayed it all over your victory.
Yeah.
Man, what happened if you lost though? Then it would look really bad. It's like celebrating early.
Oh yeah, it would have been awful.
It would have been like about
we would have lost to them, and I would have paid them money. Like
yeah. All right. So what's the contest or
raffle?
Baking? Yeah. What is that?
Oops, I typed it wrong. It's actually raffle.
Okay.
Raffle. Exclamation point raffle, not raffle exclamation point. My bad.
Oh. He's trying to fake people out so he wins. And
I know, pretty much.
Yeah.
Rigged.
That's my money.
Rigged.
Yeah.
My money.
My money.
Yeah.
But I guess while we're loading that, we can say goodbye to BBJ, and then I will play the Missing Nexus video and then pick out a winner and then call it a day. But thank you for coming on, BBJ. You can, if you want to hang around, you can.
I can see myself out. Is that what I'm?
Wait, no. Are there any shout outs you want to give out there, BBJ?
Yeah.
Shout outs to HeroesHearth.com, our sponsor. Great website. Go check it out. It's like Twitter, if Twitter only had hot things, basically. And there's guides and tiers and blogs and stuff. Yeah. Thanks for having me too. Shout out to you guys.
Oh, thanks.
Is this your first podcast you've done? You've done other
podcasts.
This
is second. I did Town Hall Heroes
He was like, I was on core yesterday.
I did like Town Hall Heroes like 6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Like on LFM, and then I was interviewed once. But
how was your experience?
It's the first one with a cam.
Compared to that, how was your experience here?
I mean, I had a camp, so this is way more pressure now. You know.
Oh,
Actually
Gotta
see
look
me.
all present.
And this
Had to
is
put on
Heroes
clothes.
so
Yeah.
all right.
Cool.
Bacon's already signed up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have an account too. So, but all
Yeah.
right. So Dan, say your line so you can get it out of the way.
And that's our show, and we'll see you in the Nexus.
Woo! Well done.
All right. So are we done now, Bacon, or no?
I'll do the outro and then
Raffle time.
raffle. I'll close out the raffle of post show. That'll make it.
Okay.
That'll be the easier way. Yeah, everyone blow ASAP. Now go. Jesus, bro.
Last one was so much better.
That's the outro. That's the outro. That's the outro. We're good.
The miss on this stage.